Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. So today I'm going to be taking a look at Justice League Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 3. There have only been 4 issues released in this comic so far, so I thought I'd go ahead and keep reviewing them and go ahead and review all of them. Hopefully the final 2 will be released, but right now it's anybody's guess if all 6 will come out. I really like this run so far, so I hope it does get completed. I really wasn't expecting to like it either, so that was a surprise. Now, just on a side note, I have a review of Aliens Vampirella coming out soon, most likely tomorrow, and now I'm basically just reviewing what I've been reading, so if you'd like me to review something specifically, feel free to mention it in the comments. And I primarily will be looking at DC Comics. This Alien Vampirella book is Dark Horse and Dynamite, though. And from time to time I might review books that aren't DC, but DC is primarily going to be my focus. And one of the oldest reviews I have on this channel is of an Image comic called Gru the Wanderer, which was also on Marvel, but the one I reviewed was an Image comic. So in any case, so that kind of opens up your options there on suggestions for what you'd like to see me review. Alright, so starting off, we have the cover for JL Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 3. So it's pretty cool, I guess. You've got the formed, when all the Zords that the Power Rangers have, they combine into a giant robot like Voltron or something like that. So that's pretty cool. That's what's on the cover, and you have the Justice League, this version of the Justice League, attacking it. That's kind of fake news. That doesn't exactly happen in this issue, but maybe it will in the 4th issue. I don't know. There is something similar to it though, so I kind of see what it's alluding to. So first page picks up where it left off in the last issue. We've got the giant octopus monsters. They're attacking major cities on different continents around the world. So the Justice League realizes they're being attacked in too many places, so they're going to have to divide up and split up and try and deal with it. So the Power Rangers basically say they have a teleporter they can use and teleport everyone where they need to be, and they're like, we'll fight each creature alongside with you. And then this is one of the parts in this issue I actually didn't like, and it kind of comes out of the blue, but like, this is Batman here talking, and he turns to the Red Ranger, which is like a leader of the Power Rangers, who had just said, we'll fight the alien, or we'll fight the octopuses along with you. And Batman says, no you won't. We don't know you well enough to fight beside you, and this isn't your world. So like, in the last issue, one of the very last things in it was Batman saying that they need to help them deal with the problem, and that it was their fault. So he's kind of flip-flopping there, and it also doesn't really sound like something Batman would say. And this whole issue, that's my number one qualm with it, is that Batman doesn't act like Batman. So they're kind of arguing, and then the Rangers are actually more of a voice of reason than Batman is, and they're like, well, we don't have time to argue, which is nonsense. Batman is the voice of reason. So anyway, on the next page, we get Cyborg being the adult, so he summons all of the other members. They are the Justice League reservists. So we get actually a really cool page. I like it. We get Shazam, Aquaman, Aquawoman, Mura, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Beast Boy, and Starfire. So that's pretty awesome. They've got 2 from the Teen Titans. They've got the Aqua folks, Shazam, and Black Canary and Green Arrow. So that's a good roster. And they summon all those folks, and they're gonna go and help fight the octopuses. So they're about to take off, and with the last group here. And it turns out the teleporters on the Watchtower have just been hacked. They don't know who did it, but it was by Brainiac. So, there's another part here where they bash Batman, and they're like, it's a virus. It's taking down Batman's firewalls, and it's in. Okay, come on, it's the Watchtower. You don't have to be like, it was Batman's fault that Brainiac was able to hack it. I'm pretty sure Brainiac could tear through anything. And furthermore, I'm pretty sure Cyborg is a living computer and more or less in charge of that stuff. So Batman is forced to go along with it now. Since the Watchtower doesn't have teleporters, they have to use the Power Rangers teleporters. So we get the next page is really cool. It shows they're in Melbourne, Australia. We got Hawk Girl and Batgirl and Supergirl. This is like an all-girl team, except there's Wally West. That's who it is. So we got Wally West down there. It looks like a civilian. I'm not sure who that is by the car, but anyway, pretty cool. Bunch of superheroes. I got next page. The other team is now there. Oh, I see. They showed up at Melbourne, so Batman and Beast Boy and those guys are there. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman's in Tokyo on the next page, along with Pink Ranger and others, and they're beating them up there. Next page is really great. Basically, they decided that, you know, stuff in the Power Rangers, basically you just hit it enough times and it disappears. That's what happened to the putties in the show. That's what they do here. They're just like, well, just hit them with everything we got. So it shows the crew in Buenos Aires, it shows a crew in Seattle, USA, and it shows a crew in Dublin. And they're all hitting the octopi. So next page, we got Superman and Cyborg, and one of the Zords has just been struck down. And they're like, what's going on? Because the Zords are what the Power Rangers robots are called. And it turns out Brainiac's drones have dropped to Earth from space, and they are taking over all of the Zords, which is really bad. And they take basically the Power Rangers' abilities. They take their skill. I don't know, it's like they have an item that they use and it turns them into a Power Ranger, so the drones take those away from them. And then they can't pilot their robots anymore. The flying one, the pink pterodactyl, comes crashing to Earth and would have been destroyed, but Wonder Woman catches it and prevents that from happening. So that's cool. I mean, I love seeing stuff like that. That's what DC heroes and you know, superheroes in general, but really ones like Shazam or Captain Marvel's what he used to be called, and Superman and Wonder Woman and even Green Lantern and the Flash. That's the kind of thing they do. They prevent disasters. So that's awesome. She catches it, and got the Flash being silly, and then Brainiac combines all the Zords together. So you do get something very similar to the cover, where they are now. You would think they would have to fight the Zord thing that Brainiac has, but it takes off. It's going to leave and go to a different dimension. So members of the Justice League pluck the Power Rangers out real quick from the machine before it leaves, and Batman actually does something heroic for the first time in 3 issues and pulls Zack out of his Zord and saves him. So they leave, the Zord leaves, and Brainiac and Lord Zed have left, and they're going to the Power Rangers universe, and they're gonna take it over, basically. So the Power Rangers are all distraught, and now we're on the Watchtower. The Justice League's basically trying to console the Power Rangers, and they're trying to figure out a plan, and one of the Power Rangers is really smart, and basically asks if we have a large Hadron Collider. If, you know, CERN, basically. If we have that. So the plan now is they go to CERN in Switzerland, and Superman asks really politely, which is this full page, and I actually like it. As a Superman fan, I think it's pretty awesome. Like, Superman just shows up to the scientists, and he's like, hi. And they're like, oh my god. And he's like, hey, you're doing a great job here. And they're like, thank you. And and they're like, you know, thanks for saving us from the giant octopus monsters. And he's like, it was our pleasure. Now I need to ask you a favor. We need to borrow your large Hadron Collider. So he introduces the Power Rangers, and then they go to the Hadron Collider, and there's a little, like, scientific mumbo-jumbo nonsense about how they're going to use it to go to the Power Rangers dimension. And then we have a credit page, and you see the writers Tom Taylor, Stephen Byrne drew it and colored it, the letterer is Darren Bennett, and Carl Kershaw did the cover. So that's issue 3. I thought it was pretty solid. I liked it a lot. The only, you know, real complaint I had was they kept using Batman as a punching bag. They really didn't treat his character well at all, and it wasn't representative of him at all. And there were more examples of it, really, in the dialogue than I pointed out. There were 3 or 4 times where it was like, either did something that wasn't in his character, or was basically a buffoon. So that was kind of lame. It was actually bad enough that I dropped the score of this from like a 10 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10. And 7 out of 10 is my final score for this issue. That's all for now. I could talk all day, so I better wrap it up. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I see the view counts and all that, so I know that people are watching. Might not be a lot of people yet, but people are watching, and that's really cool. So if you aren't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching.
End of line.